matches left before the grand finals.
Of course, we're going to be looking specifically towards Group B. The very first match that's going to be happening here is going to be Incilio up against RRQ Akira. And honestly, it feels like that Incilio wants to be able to take Group B entirely, but all they have to do is take 1 point away from RRQ Akira in this best of 3.
That means a lot of pressure on RRQ. They can't even just win the game anymore. It needs to be a clean sweep because Incilio, as long as they get one single game, doesn't matter if they lose the match, they will get to move on to the next stage. Whereas on Group A, Ulfednar and Tianfeng Yaoguai are going to be facing off at the end of today to determine who will be the team from Group A moving on to the wildcard finals.
Yeah, honestly, I love the way that Tianfeng has been playing generally. I mean, it's been a very big change from what we saw the last time we saw a Chinese representative make it all the way to an M series. If they were in Group B, maybe things could have been different. It could have been an entirely different storyline, but at the end of it, only one team gets to go to the Swiss stage.
I think they've definitely cemented themselves as the dark horse and the team to watch, right? There was a lot of people hoping for them to reach new levels of potential after witnessing what they did, their first international appearance last year, right? But I think what they've done here at the wildcards has already surpassed all expectations, and this is only the second place team as well. We still have Keep Best Gaming to keep an eye on in the main stage. Would be huge if the FYG can join them, but Ulfednar is no easy cookie.
It really isn't. But let's focus on our very first match here today. We got a quote from Lovely from Incilio. We don't have a single shot caller due to our lack of experience. Personally, I try to communicate more, but the pressure can make it difficult. It's easier when everyone is active in discussion, but it can also affect our discussion and outcomes during fast-paced situations. Hopefully, we can find a balance where we all communicate, but also have someone that can make quick decisions when needed.
Well, there is
What's going on, guys? Disappointing, man. When the PC crashes, bro, my soul also crashes, guys.
A single voice of direction helps a lot.
Nobody will be feeling good, man. In middle of the stream, if the PC crashes, man, who will be feeling good? The team is missing a shot caller. And whenever I'm playing, I make amazing shot calls. None of the motherfuckers follows up properly. They won't follow up, bro. I tell my freaking team not to fight and feed. They will be fighting and feeding, bro.
To make the best decision possible.
This guy there, Romara, talking. He's talking about not having shot callers.
Can also disrupt the flow. Imagine 5 people shouting at the same time to do 3 different things. How many of these voices do you listen to? If not, can you even hear the individual voices making the correct call?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why having a proper leader, a proper shot caller is so key.
I don't want to be the shot caller, guys. It takes away a lot from my game whenever I'm playing some other roles, like a jungle. As a roam, I can shot call. As a roam, I can shot call. As a mage, I can shot call. But playing the other roles, man, takes away so much from the game.
International lands in the past, and yet despite that, have been able to put up strong showings against more established lineups such as Team Spirit and even Aurora from Philippines.
Exactly, and which really begs the question of EECA as a whole. Their region is starting to get stronger and stronger, but at the same time, there is definitely a huge gap. Well, I wouldn't even say a huge gap, but at least the gap is shortening between the top tier teams compared to everybody else in the EECA.
But of course, we've been talking quite a bit about Incilio. What about their opponents, right? RRQ.
What the fuck? 2 FPS? Stream is lagging? I don't think stream is lagging, Kingo. Kingo, is it lagging? Incel, is it lagging?
Many people expected RRQ Akira to be the favorites in Group B. And yet, they find themselves in a position now where a 2-0 is the only
Welcome back to the stream, guys.
They can secure their place in the finals.
And it's going to be difficult because, again, a lot of their strategies is very centralized around whether or not Takashi is able to create the space so that they can make the decision to work. Most of the time, we're not seeing too many secondary win conditions for the team, and even when we look towards their gold, their jungle, or even their mid laner, right, I can't dedicatedly say that one of them is good enough to be able to outclass their opponents on the other end.
In fact, from what we saw of the quote from Lovely, it almost feels like RRQ Akira are the team that has multiple shot callers, because there's so many situations where the players just overextend on their own. But speaking of Takashi, we did get a quote from him as well. He said, "We knew that Legion's early game was extremely aggressive, but what caught us off guard was their rotation. Their mid laner went to EXP lane, while the EXP moved to mid. This put a lot of pressure across the map. We tried to find a way to counter them, but what we did was bad. In the second game, DeFranco just sort of won the game on his own.
Yeah, I can understand the Franco sentiment here, but with the lane swap, we did see a little bit here today when Legion Esports did it one more time, this time with the Kadena, and that's where you see that when you don't have priority and you're giving up pressure in the earlier stages of the game, your opponents are able to do so much more. I love that Takashi is able to give this quote because at least he knows and is self-aware as a team that when you are going up against X Factors, LE, they got to have some preparation because it feels like they're putting a lot of their eggs in the basket to focus on this matchup against Incilio rather than Legion Esports.
Yeah, RQ Akira definitely underestimated Legion Esports because based on what we've heard from their players as well, they did specifically do a lot of preparation against what they thought would be their strongest opponent in Group B.
So hello Somia, welcome to the stream, man.
That Legion Esports caught them off guard with slightly off-tempo plays, the swap of mid and EXP lane, and the Franco pick that worked incredibly well to disrupt their rotations in game number 2. However, I feel like cleaner play would have gone a long way for RQ Akira regardless of this. So there's still flaws in their own gameplay itself that need to be resolved.
I think they need to just fix a couple of things. Fundamentals they need to focus on, and also some of their setups. Because again, Luis coming into the previous game against Legion Esports, the fact that he decided to go for Vengeance on a support as well, not exactly the best option. You don't have the base health to actually protect yourself. You don't have the gold income to be able to supplement that missing HP. So why not go for a Revitalize, which is actually right now the more effective spell unless you're a Phoveus.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there just needs to be more forward thinking as a whole, right? RQ Akira has come this far off of the micro potential and experience of each and every one of their players. This is a lineup that has made many appearances in the M series and they have the confidence to back that up. But because of the new meta and their ability to adjust to being affected, you can tell that a lot of the players are making individual decisions. Fights are being initiated way too quickly without first making sure the rest of the team is ready to follow up on it, and a lot of leads being thrown away in that fashion.
Yeah, they need to, well, forward thinking is one thing. I think their setups in the early game need to be predetermined, right? There are set plays at the very beginning of the game that you can actually deploy against their opponents, maybe defensively, but it feels like right now our RQ Akira are extremely reactive and sometimes not completely focusing. Well, that's a bad way of putting it. You know, I take that back. I would say that RQ Akira are caught most of the time in autopilot modes, especially when there aren't key objectives on the map to fight for.
Yeah, because RQ Akira is a team that likes team fighting, but their style of team fighting isn't the usual front-to-back 5v5.
Yeah.
Am I live, guys? The fuck is this freaking dead ass chat, man?
And kind of work together
Ah.
in that way, connecting their scattered engagement.
Oh my god, bro.
Full initiation. But because of that, there are risks that are taken. And there is disconnect if they're not able to find these connections in the first place that other teams can take
Oh
advantage of.
fuck, bro.
Since they've mentioned they've done extensive preparation for Incilio specifically, we should hopefully see a very different RQ Akira.
Two things I'm hoping to see in this game. Number one, I want to see whether Gusta Lagusta, after hitting a 3-item power spike, depending on what marksman that he is going to get, really start to press the tempo. Second thing that I want to see, I do want them to make very decisive decisions here. Let's look at the lineup for RRQ Akira. It's Gusta Lagusta in the gold lane, Luis as your roam support, Sagan as your mid laner, King your jungler, and Takashi for the EXP.
I feel like all of these players are mainstays here on the international stage. They have the experience, they have the maturity, but you can also see some flaws that need to be ironed out. I think Gusta Lagusta, definitely a key player that has been holding his own and making comebacks happen when his team doesn't have the lead. But other players, such as Luis and King especially, need to know when to step on the brakes to try and make sure they are not starting fights where it doesn't need to happen.
Well, let's look at their opponents, because now they've been preparing so much against the EECA runner-ups in Incilio, with Don't as your gold laner, Lovely as your roam support, Reaper as your mid laner, Justinian as their jungler, and Maniac as EXP. And Reaper, of course, is able to create some pretty incredible plays. Day one, taking the play of the day. Hopefully, we might see a repeat of that performance here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see the aggression coming in from Incilio, despite their lack of of experience on the international stage. There is a clear connection and chemistry between these players. Besides Reaper, I do think that Lovely has been doing a great job as well as the roamer, opening up the map and setting up situations that Incilio can capitalize on. But it's not a flawless team. They have made mistakes in the past. Their record is not perfect, so they've still got some work to do themselves.
Now, we actually quoted and got Reaper. We asked him, many see Incilio as wildcard underdogs. What are your thoughts? And he said, we also think of ourselves as underdogs. Nobody knows much about us. Nobody believes in us, but I think we can perform well. Of course, the biggest threat in our group would still be our RQ. So there is recognition from their leader, Reaper, themselves on Incilio, recognizing that at least for our RQ Akira...
Wait. Reaper is the leader, their mage player? No way.
Now that is the matchup they're going to be facing. When you consider the fact that Incilio see themselves as the underdog, you can really see direct parallels between them and RQ Akira. And that RQ is weighed down by that pressure. Many people expect them to be a team that makes it into the main stage, while Incilio doesn't quite have as much to worry about in that regards, but they share that similarity. Both want to move on to the finals, so let's see what kind of draft they can pick up in game number 1 to help them along that path.
All right, let's have a look. It's going to be Incilio on blue side up against RRQ Akira on red side. A Yujushin fan, we're seeing the atypicals coming out very quickly. I'm curious to see whether Incilio is going to consider banning out the Cho. Takashi had a strong showing on day number 1 with it as well, and slowed down in day number 2. So they're getting rid of the casuals, they're getting rid of the usuals, no focusing on the jungler, or maybe even Karabal might be thinking, hey, since they banned out the alpha, we might as well get rid of the Suyo.
Yeah, it could be the Suyo being banned out here, with the Hilda and Zusin already gone. Looks like we are going to see a little bit of a shift because RQ Akira is the team that ideally wants to get a bit of a snowball early. The Cho being...
This guy is literally looking like a footballer, man. The hell?
When Takashi showed that he was able to set up plays as the primary initiator.
My mission.
Next ban going to be the high loss this time around. First pick going over to Incilio. This is going to be a free Suyo for them if they want.
Fanny is open, guys. Guys, Fanny is open.
Some teams have been opting not to take the chip entirely. Not even
Guys, the fuck, Fanny is open.
mind trying, but we've seen a huge dip in usage of chip.
Yeah, Chip still really depends on having the proper lineup to take advantage of his map presence. He's no longer as strong as an independent hero as he used to be after the recent nerfs, but in the
Guys, Fanny is open. Guys, Fanny.
Looks like that's the answer.
No, it's gonna be Khalid.
Locked in by Incilio.
Okay, so they set up entirely to make...
They're still really liking Khalid, man.
They decided to give it over to RRQ.
And the Getath is, I think Getath is better. Getath and Suyo. No, none of the motherfuckers are giving a fuck about Fanny. Are these like junglers not good enough to play Fanny, or like what's going on?
Keep things more open.
What's going on with the Fanny not being prioritized at all?
A lot of these safer opening picks, like the Gatot, like the Suyo, like the Valentina, in the first phase, so that you
Nolan!
much early on. And speaking of, the Valentina will be locked in by
What about Fanny?
the avatar of the Guardian alongside the Nolan.
I'm pretty okay with this, you know.
Guys, what are these teams?
They have that strong initial flex pick that can go EXP or even into the roam.
Guys, what are these teams? You cannot be coming into M6 and not like have a jungle that doesn't play Fanny.
Let's see what else RRQ Akira is going to throw out and give to them, because now...
Oh my god, speaking of coming into M6 and having a jungle that doesn't play Fanny.
And Loyi, very good.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Valentina, you're thinking, man,
Oh, brother.
GOA sounds like
Oh,
a great
brother.
idea, but if I could TP into the backline, that could be another possibility.
Yeah, it's the second way of dealing with a Valentina, of just overloading them with powerful ultimates. In this case, you're gonna have to choose between Diversion and AOG. And if the Valentina does steal the Diversion to play with, and they mistime their engagement, they would set themselves up to be hit with the Gatot Kacha instead. So it creates a difficult challenge for Reaper.
Now going into the second phase, we have to worry about gold laners because again, so many haven't been touched, not even banned just yet. Or could they be looking to kind of limit down on the EXP pool? We do know that Phobius is still available for play as of right now.
Is my okay?
In that first phase. Ooh, Natan ban coming out from Coach Cabral.
Oh, Nathan going to be the focus. Still a very powerful goal laner, even if he's one of the few marksmen that doesn't benefit as much from the Malefic gun. Bruno and Beatrix being the big winners in that regard. Chip also going to be banned out by Incilio to make sure that RQ doesn't have 2 teleports.
I think right now, gold lane, it's kind of difficult to play no matter what you have. There's not much setup for Beatrix specifically, so I'm thinking about independent gold laners. I'm thinking along the lines of Harith. I'm thinking along the lines of Claude, Moskov.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think having even Harith is okay here because you already have the zone control in the Gatot, so you don't have to worry about that as much. I do want to look a little bit more towards the EXP lane though. We know that Tekashi, a question that we've posed throughout this wildcard is how deep his pockets are in the EXP lane, because it's not the usual meta he's more comfortable with. He always goes to Cho.
A glue. Was that a glue pick or glue ban?
Besides that, we haven't seen anything else.
No, that was a glue ban. That was a glue ban.
Glue ban coming out from RRQ Akira. They could just go first pick in the second phase, Phoveus, and then afterwards look to try and go for the counter pick at the very end towards the gold lane. Hopefully G sees this, because at this point, banning on the Phoveus isn't too bad of an idea. You already have 3 heroes that do a good amount of dashing, 2 from
Anan kyun jeetega? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, the glue
Are you sure about that, Sam?
So it makes you think that they want to go for heroes like the Phoveus, but Arlet will be the one that they get rid of instead, just to deny RQ Akira more initiation ability.
Just for no reason, man. Exclamation mark king in the chat, bro. What the frick is insane, bhai? Insane.
They're not going to take traditional front to backs. They want to get into your back line. They want to be able to kind of intercept you mid-buff as well. So something to keep in mind for Incilio here. Coach Cabral going to maximize the time to decide where it's going to go. Are they going to focus towards Gusta and Gusta for that final pick, or is it going to be Takashi?
Bet lagaya game. Isne bola. I bet it on Incilio. Let's see.
Akira has left Takashi's pick for the final pick almost every single game here in the wildcard, so it looks like they're sticking to that pattern. As for Incilio, if they want to deal with this low Yi, there are things like the Belleric, the Tigreal still open. Carmilla maybe a little less popular now. But good.
I wanna go out, bro. I wanna fucking go out somewhere this evening, man.
Instead, the Khalid can still go into the roam position. They decide to lock in the Harith themselves to somewhat match Bruno in the gold lane, but Harith doesn't match up very well into Gatot.
Ooh. Oh boy, this is real interesting now. Now they're really gonna put the test to Takashi. What is he going to play now? He doesn't have his usual Cho. Hilda is gone, and now that you've got rid of the lane bullies like Khalid, playing Phoveus into this might not be such a good idea, because he can get bullied out by the Thamos, one of the best level 1s in the game.
And even if he does end up going for his classic Terizla, it might be difficult for him to unlock himself from lane against a Tamas as well. So Incilio...
Wait. I totally fucking zoned out and missed out on that
combo that has given them so many...
Thamus pick. I totally zoned out and missed out on that Thamus. Oh, CC versus Thamus, interesting.
Just to make sure that Takashi has some lethality in that lane. 67% win rate so far.
Does the CC win versus Thamus, guys? I'm not sure.
You throw that curtain call, they're stuck together. You can get
also, none of these teams give a single fuck about Fanny. Like, what's going on in that department?
And I've already said this, I don't really like the Gatot as the main engager. It can be hard to land AOG without something else to set it up. But as we jump into game 1, what are your thoughts, Gideon?
Well, I like the fact that you brought up about the Avatar of the Guardian here, because again, that curtain call is going to be that secondary way to bait out engagements from the side of Incilio. So I'm expecting Incilio to play a little bit more reactive here unless they get an early lead. So keep your eyes on Lovely.
All right, let's keep our eyes on Lovely. Let's keep our eyes on the Land of Dawn here, because this is going to be game number 1 of our 3rd match here at the M6.
Keep your eyes on Lovely. That really sounds sus, guys.
Versus Incilio.
So Insane is actually king, huh?
Against the wall.
Let's see how this is.
No, I don't think so, right? I'm kind of like confused sometimes, man. What happens to Insane, man?
Akira starting on his orange gold lane down on the bottom side of the map. Oh, what a chunk out from Lovely.
That's already to be expected.
So this is another Khalid roam.
But since he's disrupting mid lane, he's not really...
My god, guys, what's going on with the Khalid being picked into roam role?
Going to do that, and keep in mind that the M6 pass is now available. You can complete all the activity tasks during the event to reach level 75 for free. Hold on, the fight
Louis
breaks
is in
out.
some trouble, but has revitalized, so he'll be fine. Though because of that, Justinian gets the litho for free.
All right. Losing out your Revitalize, not too big of a deal here. He won't have it for the upcoming turtle fight, I would imagine. He used it pretty early, so actually, I take that back. He will have it for that turtle fight, and maybe we might see an actual rotation from this mid lane. Unfortunately for Lovely as well as Reaper, they're trying to chunk out this Loi as much as they can, and even put some hurt into Luis's side. But in terms of rotations, they're looking for somewhere to punish. In both side lanes, not really giving too much info.
Yeah, both side lanes are playing it safe because they know how important that can be in the first stage.
Oh, bro, King is getting touched, huh? Lovely is trying to touch King really hard.
Impure Rage on the Nolan, well, I think it's all right. I mean, against some of the tanks, I think it's totally fine because it does max health damage, but generally, you would have imagined him to go for something along the lines of, what would have been better in this?
Like, normally it'd go like Lethal Ignition.
I mean, yeah, but I was thinking of like something that might, I would say even Warcry might have been a slightly better in these kind of situations, but it's about the burst, right? You want to get the initial burst.
I guess that is fair enough. For now, both junglers can be matching each other in pace, getting their final buff, but Justinian is the one who gets it first, immediately jumping onto the turtle. The rest of Incilio is here to back him up. Louis is gonna get taunted. Yin Yang reaction on Lovely, has to flicker back out, but Takashi is there to catch him with the curse.
That's such a forced play from both the sides, but this is Justinian who's going to be securing up that turtle. And both our teams backs up after picking up Louise.
I don't know how that was supposed to be played out. Louise knows for a fact he's not level 4.
Meanwhile, look in the bottom lane, Donut going 1v1 versus Gusta, which is not going to be a 1v1 lane matchup anymore. 3 people from the side of Studio making a rotation towards the gold lane. Never mind, they're going to be backing off, looking something elsewhere. What is going to be that place?
Was a bit too messy, especially with Incilio.
And this is where Voltage should be like taking off. Bro, we can really get good at casting, but you don't really practice at all. You don't really put time.
So without level 4, I think
nobody even watches any tournaments or anything, man. Any of the good shit that's going on.
Goes for a Hunter Strike first.
Okay, so let's see. Donut is on. Harry.
Impure Rage and Hunter.
Harry versus Bruno. That's an equal matchup, right, guys?
Prolonged engagements instead of just in and out.
Lovely should be a more proactive on that Khalid.
Call here because again, I don't see these fights dragging out super long unless I mean, if the engagements are clean, it should be pretty quick overall, right? The only big difference makers, I would imagine at this point in the game, are going to be maybe even the jungler, specifically for King, not so much for Justinian because I don't see him starting the fight that often.
I guess he's just expecting it's gonna take him longer to take down Louise or Takashi. We'll see whether this decision does end up working out for them.
Oh, wait.
GGGG.
If he's not looking to fight, the next best thing when you have that Hunter Strike is to...
I'm taking some notes here from Harry.
Stealing away his camps being twice as
Bro, what are those rips, man?
speed to quickly transverse...
That boy just kept on dashing through the map and kept on leaving rip.
Level lead over King, so
a diversion.
Let's see if he maintains that for the next 4 minutes.
He freaking preemptively casted a fracture on the diversion there.
Out economy RQ Akira could be a good idea, especially since RQ Akira is a team that likes to get advantage through team fight victories.
If they play this slow, it should be alright, because again, keep your eyes on Takashi. He wants to start this off with that curtain call before any...
Justinian is looking something towards that Bruno. And King, meanwhile, is securing the turtle. That's a huge whiff with the avatar of the Guardian. Now Louis being pressured.
Pops the vengeance on Maniac as well, and now RQ Akira.
King looking for something. No, that's a little bit too deep, and he decided to back off. Never mind, he's looking something towards the gold lane. Donut being pressured, and Donut being taken out by King.
Need the extra TP, King.
Here comes the diversion play with Seigen. Is the one that's gonna get punished, falling into the hands of Maniac. I kept on freaking calling him Manny. Hey, this skin is really amazing though, bro. The new. I forgot, bro. What is the call? What is the name? The skin of the new the skin of the new name. The name of the new skin. It is what it is. What is it? Guys, I can't remember.
Not need to continue on that. So
Oh, it is called the Navigator. I remember now.
because the goal lane is
I mean, of course I have it.
but that did not need the
That's my first 11-11 skin that I got, right? Let me check the event, man. I think that is my first ever 11-11 skin that I got.
Yet. We're not seeing hyper aggression. We are
Oh,
just
Reaper.
very technical plays from both.
Reaper is on that Valentina, sustain Valentina. Reaper being pressured, but he's a sustain Valentina, so that's gonna be not that easy to take out. Bro, Louis is whipping the avatar of the Guardian one more time, bro.
Really good stuff coming up from
But I guess they will be like zoning the Thamus out and taking out the top tier one.
I'm hoping that RRQ
King taking his own purple Yutsunian looking for something mid-side. Actually, all of our team are looking for something mid-side. Oh, oh, oh.